In today's Cooking with Jay, it is all about cabbage. Now, if you're like me, when you were younger, cabbage was gross. It was soggy, it was boiled, it was added into things that just made it taste disgusting. Well, I've recently found that I love green cabbage when it's cooked properly. You do not boil cabbage. Cabbage is great roasted. Cabbage is great stir fried. Cabbage is great, and you cook it exactly how you like it. That's the great thing about cabbage. It tastes a lot like Brussels sprouts, which, again, if you haven't had Brussels sprouts and bacon, I feel bad for you. Because Brussels sprouts and bacon are out of this world. Even my children like Brussels sprouts and bacon. So, here we go. The first recipe I have for you is called 30-minute kielbasa and cabbage skillet. Now, if you do not have kielbasa is a type of smoked sausage. You can use any type of smoked sausage in here. It's just fine. It will work. You can add it in there and it's not a big deal. So you want 12 to 16 ounces of kielbasa sausage. I prefer the skinless. The skin is tough. I think it's easier to eat without the skin and you don't get that yucky feeling in your teeth. You want half of a small, like a 2 to 3 pound head of green cabbage, 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter. Now, you can put in a 1/4 teaspoon of caraway seeds. I normally don't. I also leave off the apple cider vinegar, but again, if you like apple cider vinegar, feel free. If you like caraway seeds, feel free. I don't. So a pinch of red pepper flakes, 1/4 teaspoon of pepper and salt, and then a tablespoon of whole grain mustard. Now, the whole grain is the part. You don't want yellow mustard in this. You want, like, a good one with seeds in it. It tastes so much better. So with this one, it's pretty easy. Cut up the kielbasa. You want them cut the whole kielbasa in half and then cut those into little pieces. And then you want to core the cabbage. Chop it in half. You cut the core out. And then you take half of it, cut it up into about 1-inch pieces. Ends up being about 8 cups. Then, put 2 tablespoons of the butter in a large skillet. You need a large one. It will reduce, but you first put it all in there, it's a lot. You put the caraway seeds if you like them, the red pepper flakes, and you cook those in the butter about 30 seconds till you can smell them. Okay, then you add the kielbasa. Cook it until browned, like 6 to 8 minutes. Then you add the cabbage. Add the salt and pepper, and you want to cook. Occasionally scraping the bottom, like just keep stirring that bad baby up until the cabbage is to your liking. Now, if you like it softer, cook it longer. If you like it more crunchy, cook it less time. Okay, at the end of all of that, when everything's lightly browned and tender and all that stuff, right? You go ahead and add a tablespoon of whole grain mustard, and if you like the apple cider vinegar, a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. Toss it all together, put it on a plate, and chow. It is really good. The mustard, it just all goes together so well. Again, if you don't have kielbasa, just use a smoked sausage. Okay, so that is the first cabbage dish that I have grown to love. It's a staple in our house. Amazing. I'm not a huge mustard fan, but I love this. The mustard just goes really well with this. Okay. The other one is more of a Korean style beef and cabbage stir fry. Okay. So with this, you need to make a stir fry sauce, which has 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, a tablespoon of toasted sesame oil, a tablespoon of sriracha, and a 1/2 tablespoon of brown sugar. You mix all those together in a bowl, set them aside. 1/2 head of green cabbage, 2 carrots, 3 green onions, 1/2 tablespoon of neutral cooking oil. So neutral cooking oil is not olive oil. It's like vegetable oil or that type of thing. You don't want something with a lot of flavor. 1/2 pound of lean ground beef, 2 cloves of garlic, a tablespoon of fresh grated ginger, and a pinch of used pre-grated ginger or like ginger powder, but and then a little salt and pepper. You can garnish it with either sriracha later or sesame seeds. Both work great. My husband loves sriracha. So you prepare the sauce, put it in a bowl, set it aside. You can set any of your toppings aside, just put it over there. Shred the vegetables. So you want to cut the cabbage in half. You can use the other half of the cabbage you used for the kielbasa. Great thing to pair back to back. Cut it in half and then core it if you didn't core it before. You shred the leaves of one half the cabbage. I just cut them up into strips. I don't think you need to shred them. Peel 2 carrots and then use a cheese grater to shred them into about 1 cup of shredded carrots. You can also buy pre-shredded carrots. Saves you some time. Then you slice 3 green onions, mince 2 cloves of garlic, peel a knob of ginger. You can scrape it with the side of a spoon or a vegetable peeler and then grate it again with a small whole cheese grater. I sometimes just chop it up, throw it in there. If you like ginger, it's a good way to go. Okay, you heat a large skillet over medium heat. Add the cooking oil, the neutral cooking oil, the ground beef, the garlic, the ginger, and the salt and pepper. Then you combine it until the beef is cooked. Do not drain the beef. This is the key to this, this whole recipe. Don't drain it. Leave the fat in there. It helps cook the rest of the stuff. So then you add the cabbage and the carrots and you keep stirring it until it's to the point where you like your cabbage. Again, less time if you want it more crunchy, more time if you want it more wilted. Then after that is all cooked, stir in the sauce and the green onions, mix it all up to warm it up, like warm up the sauce. And then you can sprinkle it with sesame seeds or sriracha or whatever and serve it. Again, if you want it more spicy, add more sriracha. If you don't want it spicy and you like it nice and quiet and bland, 1 teaspoon instead of a tablespoon of sriracha will work. Again, another cabbage dish that is phenomenally great. I like doing both in the same week. I know that's a lot of cabbage for some people. Here, we like it, so I do one early on in the week and one later on in the week, and we use 1 full head of cabbage. Boom, we're done. So it makes it a little easier to use up the cabbage and not have it go bad. If you're putting your cabbage in your fridge for later, here's a tip. Do not wrap it up in a Ziploc bag. No, that's just going to make it mold. So what you want to do is you want to put a little bit of a wet paper towel on the cabbage part that's cut. And then you want to put it in a bag that isn't zip shut. You can wrap it in a little bit of cling wrap, leave some air pockets. You want the cabbage to get some air to it. With a little bit of wet, a little bit of air, the cabbage will stay good for a few days. So there are your cabbage dishes, and I hope that you enjoyed. And I hope that you come back and tell me how you liked them, what you did different, what did you change, what did you eat? Did you look at me like I was crazy because, ew, cabbage? Give him a shot, really. I thought I was going to hate it, and we ended up with a cabbage in a vegetable box that we got during COVID, and I was like, what am I going to do with this cabbage? I hate cabbage. Well, found out I don't hate cabbage. I hate cabbage that's overcooked.